guys, it's Jamie from One String to Rule Them All. I just figured I would introduce myself at the beginning of this video for those of you who don't know my face or my voice, because I don't really like to record myself very often, so this is kind of a new thing. I am going to be showing you guys how to make this awesome spaceship bag. This is the 8x12 size. It comes in 4 different sizes for whatever you might need it for. Just a fair warning for those of you who don't know me, I have 2 sets of twins. Yes, 2 sets of twins. I have 4 children. The older set is 6.5 and the younger set just turned 3 on Thanksgiving. I do have to keep the baby monitor on down here in my work area, so you are probably going to hear some screaming. You are probably going to hear them fighting. Unfortunately, I turned it down as much as I could while still being able to hear them, but my work area is downstairs and their bedrooms are upstairs, so this is the only way I can hear them. I do apologize for the screaming. I promise all of my children are safe and healthy and just not getting along because we have a 3-bedroom house with 6 people and a dog, so they all have to share and they don't like it. But I hope this video helps anyone who's not liking doing zipper bags. They're really not that hard once you get them figured out. I do have written instructions if you guys would rather follow those. I myself am a visual learner, so I like to follow the video tutorials, honestly, but I've made enough zipper bags I could probably do them without even looking at instructions anymore. So I hope this video helps. I hope it's not too terribly long, but obviously with a lot of steps you want to have as good of instructions as you can. So don't forget, you can ask any questions you might have in the group. You can I don't really have any mods, but there are some regulars that could answer questions. Just post it in the group and one of us will get to you, or you can even private message me and I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. And I hope to do some more zipper bags in the future since this one turned out so awesome. So if you have any ideas, you can let me know in the group and I will see what I can do. Thank you. Hey guys, I'm going to talk you through doing my very first zipper bag. It's the Spaceship zipper bag inspired by Buzz Lightyear's toy box that he comes in. Make sure that you've bought the pattern beforehand. It will have all the instructions you need, and it comes in 4 different sizes, so make sure that you have the right size for your machine. My machine, I have the Viking Topaz 50. It goes up to 8x12, so that's what I'm going to test today. And then for materials, you will need a scrap of blue vinyl. You don't need a ton, it's for the wings. And then I've got my white vinyl, just plain white vinyl. If you want to be creative, you could use glow-in-the-dark vinyl. You could use like the sun reactive vinyl, I forget what it's called, or glitter. You can never go wrong with glitter vinyl. I am going to use this shiny blue zipper tape that I got from New Moon Stitches with this adorable little alien rainbow zipper pull that also I got from New Moon Stitches. If you're not comfortable using zipper tape, just one of the standard, like I think this is a number 3 zipper I got off Amazon. This one is a 9-inch. You probably won't need more than a 6-inch depending on what you have. You just are going to trim it down like you would for other zipper bags. If you feel like making it into like a crossbody bag, I have these, they're 1/2 inch by about 2-inch strips of matching vinyl, and with those, some little D-rings. These ones are 3/4 inch, I think, so they're going to be just a little bit big, but I mean, that's not bad at all. Also from New Moon Stitches. And if you feel like it, I typically make my own straps, but I got these ones from Jane, also at New Moon Stitches. It's just a little adjustable vinyl strap with the buckles already on it. I just like to make my own because you can customize them however you want then. Also, on this bag, the window of the spaceship is going to have some clear vinyl, which you're going to need. I would suggest probably 14 gauge at least. That way it doesn't tear. I'm going to do something a little different, and I'm going to put some little glitter behind it so that it kind of stands out. You can cut the white vinyl away once you do your placement stitch for the white vinyl or the clear vinyl. Totally up to you. But then obviously you would have a clear window in your bag, and I know some people don't like that. And then this is 2 hoopings. So the first hooping that you're going to want to do is the fins on his bag, the little wings, and you can use cutaway or tearaway. I've got mine hooped already. And you want to do the fins first, because otherwise you're going to have to stop your bag right in the middle and do them, because it's like one of the last steps on the bag is attaching them. And then I don't have my stabilizer big enough, but this is my 8x12 hoop, and I've got tearaway in here. You want to use tearaway for the actual bag, because once it's done, you know, that inside is going to be exposed. So it's, you know, some people leave it, some people pull it off. It's up to you. I like to pull mine off so it looks a little cleaner on the inside. And then, like I said, you want to hoop the wings first, and you're going to run that design first. So what you're going to do, and I'll go through step by step what you're going to do. The first step is to do the placement stitch, and I'm not going to make you watch me stitch, and then I'll show you the next step once that's ready. Okay, so I did my placement stitch. My thread decided not to pick up until halfway through, but you can kind of see the lines there. What you're going to do is you're going to take your white vinyl, and you're just going to stick it right on top. Just make sure all your lines are covered. I know you can't see that, my lights are super bright. And you're going to run the second step, which is the placement for the little applique, and you're going to need some of your blue vinyl for this. There's just going to be a little applique on both wings. So the second step is going to show you where the placement lines for that applique are on top of the white vinyl that you just put down. Okay. So here are my placement lines for the applique on the wings. So step 3 is going to be the tack down for this. So what you're going to want to do is just make sure you cover up the lines completely. I'm going to cut just a chunk off of each of these and set it on top. You can tape if you want, or I typically will just hold it down as long as my fingers are far away, because I really don't want to stab myself with a needle. So run step 3 once you have both lines covered with your blue vinyl for the applique, and then once that step is done, you're going to trim around the outside edges, making sure not to cut any of the stitches, or else they'll come undone and won't hold it in place anymore. Okay, I just finished step 3. Not exactly my best cutting job. I'll clean it up a little bit once it's off the hoop, and I don't have to worry about accidentally popping the stabilizer out. But you stitched the tack down, and then you trimmed around the outside edges for the applique. So the next, looks like steps 4, 5, and 6 are going to be details. You're going to stitch black for the letters, gray for the little rocket, and then red for the little stripes on the top of the wings. So go ahead and run all of those steps, and then the last step, step 7, is going to be the final tack down. So I'll come back and show you what to do once we get to step 7. Okay. I have those 3 steps stitched out. So these are what the wings are going to look like. And I'll finish trimming later. My machine won't trim any of the jumps on 8x12 for some reason. I did clean up the back a little bit, so there's not a ton of threads between the two. And what you're going to do is you're going to take another chunk of white vinyl, right side up, so they're kind of going to be sandwiched. And I tape it down pretty good on the sides so it stays in place. And then this vinyl does not work awesome on my machine. So what I'm going to do is I'm also going to put some water soluble stabilizer over the back so it doesn't stick to the bottom of my machine. And then what you're going to do is you're going to run step 7, and that's going to tack down everything and do like the final outline. Once that's done, you're going to trim around the outside of the stitching and just set them to the side for now. And then we'll move on. You want to load up the bag in the same size. Now, I do want to note, I didn't do this before, the wings are a different size for each size of the bag. So you want to make sure that you're loading up the correct size. So I chose the 8x12 wings because otherwise they won't be the right size on the bag that you chose. I don't think there's a crazy size difference, but it's enough that it might look too small or too big on your bag once it's finished. So I'm going to go ahead and run the final step and trim around the outside edges and just kind of clean up any loose strings or anything before I move on to the actual bag. I have finished the wings now. They're super cute. And I took off the water soluble stabilizer on the back. And again, not everybody has to use that. My machine just tends to drag the vinyl and then the stitching gets all funky on the back. And it's not ideal. So now that these are done, you're going to set them aside. And I will, for those of you who don't know me that well, so I started embroidering in 2018 or 2019, I forget exactly what year, but I started my business, in the fall of 2019. Started out pretty slow. And at the same time, I was helping Jane at New Moon Stitches. I went from being one of her very regular customers to being a mod, and now I help her with, I do all of the zipper tape and the zipper pulls. So if you get any zipper tape or pulls from her, they're actually coming from me, which is why I have this awesome little alien guy. This is a custom that we had done. I think she ordered 4 different colors of this one, but these technically haven't even shipped out from me yet. We just got them in last week, and I just got done sorting and checking them for flaws and everything. But they are on her website for retail. She also has some awesome Hamilton ones that we just got. But these ones obviously go with the bag I'm making, and I thought they were so cute and perfect timing to use it on my bag today. So for your next step, you're going to, I already have my stabilizer hooped, and again I used tearaway, and this is my 8x12 hoop, so I'm going to be making the biggest size of bag that we have. So the first couple steps, zipper bags are intimidating, I will say, which is why I'm doing the video tutorial. The first couple times I did one, I was scared, and I think I messed several of them up, and that's totally normal. But so this is when the zipper comes into play. You're gonna run the first step is going to be your placement for your zipper. It's going to be right at the top. It's about 1 inch wide, and then however wide the bag is that's how long it will run, which is why I was saying the 9-inch zipper is obviously going to be, you know, it's even wider than my hoop. It's going to be huge, which is why you cut it down. I will try to add lengths for the zipper tape in the pattern instructions for you if you want to use the tape. I will be using the tape. I just prefer to make it that much more custom than just using one of the plain colored zippers from, you know, wherever you get them from. I get mine from Amazon. I do have them because they're nice to have around on occasion, but I also like how chunky the zipper pull is. You know, it just gives you a lot more to grab onto when you're opening and closing your zipper. And I always feel like I'm going to break the number 3 zippers because they're just so skinny. But so what you're going to do is you're going to run the first step. It's just going to be a placement. And what you're going to do is you're going to tape your zipper square in between those lines. So pretty much the top of the zipper is going to touch the top line. The bottom of the zipper is going to touch the bottom line. And then the step after that will be your kind of like a tack down on the zipper. So if you want to run whatever color the zipper tape is, you can, or I'm gonna do white because I'm using white vinyl on the bag, so that way it doesn't stand out too much, because your vinyl will be covering that tack down stitch, if that makes sense. So go ahead and run the first step, and I'll come back and show you how I tape my zipper on, just so that you can see it. So my zipper tape was about 6 inches long, and you can't really see the lines, but it's covering those lines perfectly. I like to use this, I think it's, 3M. It's like medical tape. It's a lot stronger than Scotch tape, and it doesn't really leave any residue. So also I needed to order some new tape right when the pandemic hit, and this was like the only thing on Amazon that didn't have a 2-month wait. So I bought a whole bunch of these, and I just love it. It works really well holding vinyl and everything on. So I've got my, and okay, so 6 inches, it went a little bit over the edge on both of the bottom lines, and that's good. You want to have your zipper as far off to the end as you can. That way the machine does not catch the zipper. Otherwise it will make your hoop mess up, and that won't be good. So the next step you're going to run, step 2, is the tack down. So what it's going to do is it's going to kind of stitch right in the middle there between the top of the zipper and the top of the tape. And it's just going to keep it in place so that you don't have to worry about it moving while you're putting the vinyl and everything on. Okay, I've got the zipper tacked down. What I did was I taped my little guy off to the side so that he doesn't get caught. The next step is going to be the placement line for the whole bag. So it's going to show you exactly where to put the vinyl. I'm using white vinyl, so you're going to run the next step, and then I'll come back and show you what to do. All right, I've got my tack down stitch there, or my placement stitch. It kind of looks like a mason jar. My hoop caught a little bit there. I forgot to scoot it out because I'm using my big hoop, so I had to reset it. But you can kind of see the basic outline there. What you're going to do is you're going to put a sheet of whatever vinyl you're using. I'm just using the plain matte white. You can get this from Glitterbug Fairy or marinevinylfabric.com. Has lots of good colors. Both of them are awesome suppliers. So you're going to cover all the placement stitch there and run your next step, which is going to just kind of tack down the vinyl and hold it in place. Note I will make before I do this, you want the edge that's going up along the zipper to be nice and straight, because it'll be kind of hard to trim pretty much. So you want it to be nice and straight, and pretty much get it right up close to that zipper edge there. And then run your next step, step 4. So yeah, make sure that your edge is really straight, and then use that for the top edge, because it's really hard to trim once you get that on there. So here is the vinyl tacked down. You can see on the top edge there, this is why you needed a nice straight line on your top edge of your vinyl. The other edges you're going to be cutting, so it doesn't matter what those look like. I just used straight off my roll, so those edges are nice and straight. But yeah, you want that top edge as close to the zipper as you can. That way it just looks nicer that way. So your next couple steps are going to, let me pull up my design here. Looks like you've got 3 steps that are details. It's gonna stitch the blue accents on the sides. It's gonna do the gray for the thrusters and the little eagle guy or whatever. And then there's gonna be purple where the window is, kind of like his dashboard, I guess. So you're gonna run all of those steps, and then after that we're gonna do the applique window. So I'll come back and make sure to show you how to do that one. There's a couple different ways. I'll talk you through the 3 different ways you can do it. But for now, I'm just gonna run all those detail stitches. Okay. These are all the details that I stitched. It took a really long time because this is an 8x12, so I think I stitched about almost 30,000 stitches just for the details, but they look really nice. And notice the thrusters are even ribbed like the actual one. So the next step that you're gonna do is going to be the placement stitch for the clear vinyl. And this is, I outlined it in the written instructions, but there's a couple different ways you can do it. A lot of my testers did, they just put the clear vinyl over the white vinyl and it kind of gives it a little shine, but they did not cut a hole because a lot of people don't want a window into their zipper bag, you know. So you can do it that way, where you put the clear vinyl over top, put the tack down stitch, and then move on to the next step. If you really wanted to, once the placement line is stitched, you can, and the placement line is going to go underneath this purple because the purple is like the dashboard behind the window. Once the placement line is stitched, you can, if you want to, cut the white vinyl out on the inside and like on top of this purple dashboard if you want a clear window. What I'm gonna do, hopefully, theoretically, is put some glitter underneath the clear vinyl, kind of like a trapped deal. So what I'm gonna do for that is I'm going to stop the placement stitch when it's like an inch away from the finishing point, pull it off the machine, and I can show you guys what I'm gonna do once I get to that point. But right now I'm just gonna do the placement stitch, and then I'll come back and show you to put the vinyl on top that way, and we can get going on the window. From here on out, it looks like I've got about 6,000 stitches left. It's mostly placement lines and a little bit more. There's another detail up on the top, and then that's it pretty much. So we're almost there, home stretch. Here is my placement stitch for the window. You can kind of see the gray outline there. Again, if you feel like cutting the window out, you could cut like right here above the purple, and then just make sure that you stay inside the lines and don't cut any of the stitching. Also, if you cut this white vinyl out in the middle, leave your stabilizer in the back, because we will be stitching some lines over the front of the window for detail. So I've got my clear vinyl here. I have no idea what gauge this is. I got it on the remnant rack at Joann's. So this one might be like an 18. It's super thick, but I would not go below 10 if I were you, because it'll rip. The stitching will rip the vinyl, and that's not good. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the clear vinyl over those placement lines. I'm gonna go ahead and tape it in place just in case my foot catches it, because it is super sticky, and my foot will drag it. And then I'm gonna stop like an inch from the starting point so that I can put my glitter underneath there, and I will come back and show you when I get to that point.
Hi guys. I love you. Love you so much. Hi guys. Hello.
For those of you that might be curious, my 6-year-olds came downstairs and saw my camera up and got excited, and they wanted to do a little dance for you guys, I guess. So I recorded them before they started saying things they shouldn't say. Their favorite word right now is poop. So I stopped it before we got there, but so I finished. I got like an inch from the end there, and my white vinyl, or my clear vinyl, is tacked down on top. I made this fancy little funnel out of a Post-it note, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna sprinkle. Now, glitter, for those of you who have never done glitter inside of something, a little bit goes a long way. I'm gonna attempt to put some glitter in here, and it should just kind of funnel in here, and then you can kind of tap it around until it is where you want it to be, because the next step is going to create little lines on the window, and if you just leave it where it is, there's not going to be any on the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now on video, try to at least, so that you guys can kind of see what I'm doing in case you want to do this yourself. If I can find where I put my glitter. So these glitters I got on Amazon. I don't even know, it was a long time ago. I've never actually used them, but I thought they were really cute. This one is kind of like it's like little tubes, or I don't even know, but it's cool silver color, and then these little blue circles. I thought it matched the theme. So I don't think I have a little, oh yeah, I do. I grabbed my little 1/4 teaspoon measure thing, and I've been using that for like beads and glitter and stuff, just for an easy little scoop. So I'm just gonna take a little scoop of this glitter and try not to make a mess here, and just drop it in there. Glitter's super fun when you make a mess. So you can kind of see it fell in there a little bit. I'm just gonna kind of tap it around. Once I get this funnel out, it'll probably fall in a little easier. I'll do the same with the blue, just a little bit of blue, and then once I get it in there, I can kind of see if I need to add some more. Since this is the 8x12 size, it is pretty big, so I might want to add a little bit more, but I'll see how it looks. If I can even get this thing open. There we go. Did not want to come open for me there. Sorry, I have to keep the baby monitor on, so you're hearing my 3-year-olds who are supposed to be napping, and they're fighting each other right now. Okay. So, I'm gonna try... See, the thing with this glitter is it wants to stick. There we go. There's going to be a little bit of a cleanup here when I cut the clear vinyl. So you can see it's kind of just something fun to make the window pop a little. So the silver is not wanting to spread very well, but the blue Next time I might make my hole a little bit bigger, but this will be fine. So it's not super even, but you can kind of get the gist of what I was going for there. It makes that window pop, and it's matching colors, which are always nice to have. And I'm now covered in glitter. That's fun. Okay, so I'm gonna finish trying to get this spread out a little bit, and then I'm gonna run the next step, which is gonna make those lines, and it's gonna trap the glitter in. I also need to finish stitching the last little bit there of the tack down that I stopped, and then I'll move on to the next. Right, so couldn't get that glitter all the way over here for the most part, but it still looks fun. It's kind of hard to tell on this video in my horrible basement lighting, but I think it looks pretty good, and it makes that window pop a little instead of just plain white behind it. But again, the clear vinyl, just the shine on its own makes the window pop. So if you don't want to mess with glitter like I did, which I just had to go and take care of one of my crying 3-year-old, and was covered in glitter the whole time, so that was fun. So I closed off that bottom corner where I put the glitter in, and then I ran the window details there, and then your next step that you're going to be doing is a little purple accent up here. So you're going to run that purple accent. It's going to probably stitch over the top of that vinyl, which is why you do it after you put the window down. And then the next couple steps are going to be placement lines, and I will talk you through those as well, so it doesn't get confusing, because to have a turned bag, you have to do everything kind of backwards, and it can get a little confusing. So I'm going to run that purple, and then I'll come back and show you the placement lines. I'm actually going to run the placement line too. So that's step 13 is going to be the placement line, the first placement line. It's going to be down here by these blue accents, and those are for the wings. So you're going to need those next. And then I will come back and show you how to do that. So run the purple and then run the placement line. I would suggest using like white thread on the placement line, because you're not really going to see it. It's going to be kind of off on the outside of the bag, but just in case it shows that way, it's showing white like the vinyl. So top detail, and then it's going to run both placement lines in one step. White for the placement line wasn't very good for the purposes of this video, because obviously white's going to blend in. So I went back over it with blue. You can kind of see where right there, that's one, and then here's the other one. These placement lines are for the wings, which you should have stitched out first. So obviously this one goes on this side, this one goes on this side. What you are going to do for this, and I'll try my best to I gotta close my computer here. I will try my best to show you how this goes. So it is gonna look backwards, and it might be a little confusing. If you stitch it like this, it's going to be on the inside of the bag when you flip it. So you want it to be, and everything's covered in glitter right now. You want to, and I explained it in the written pattern, you want to flip it like this, so that when you turn it, it will it'll flip out once the bag is turned right side out. And if you really, really want to have the seams on the outside for some reason, you're probably going to want to turn it over and attach it like this over those placement lines. But most people don't like to have the seams on the outside. I like my seams on the inside. It just looks cleaner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up kind of this blue edge on the inside there with my placement line. So it's going to be, looks like 1/4 of an inch over the outside line there, and tape it in place. You're going to do the same on the other side. So you're going to flip it this way And again, it's about 1/4 of an inch. That way, when you flip it, it's got a nice hold on the vinyl there, and there will be a little bit of white on the outside of that blue seam there. I would like to point out to you guys, I only used, I mean, there's 2 sheets here that overlap a little bit, but for the most part, it's just 1 sheet of thick tearaway vinyl, and I'm at like 35,000 stitches, and there's like hardly no puckering. So if you guys have issues with the vinyl looking like it's puckering, just add an extra sheet of tearaway behind it on those thick parts, and it'll help stabilize it a little bit better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and tape these down, and then run the next step, which looks like step 13, and that's going to tack them down, and then I'll go ahead and take the tape off. And then I'm going to go ahead and run the next placement stitch, which is going to be up on the top here, and those are going to be for the strap connectors. If you don't want strap connectors, or just you want one, you can just choose which side you use it on. But once I get these stitched down and the placement line stitched for the next step, I'll come back and show you how to do those. So I tacked down the wings, and I took the tape off so I don't have to try to find it later. So that's what it's going to look like when the bag flips right side out. And then I also ran the placement lines up here. They're kind of hard to see right there for the strap connectors. And the way you're going to do the strap connectors is I have this little 1/2 inch by 2 inch strip of vinyl and my little D-ring. This one is a 3/4 inch D-ring. You could probably do it with a 1/2 inch D-ring also. And you're going to put it on like this. Just kind of squish the 2 pieces together and fold it in half. And then what you're going to do is put the unfinished edge on the outside of the bag there and the D-ring on the inside. You want to tape it down really, really good, because if it shifts while it's stitching, just because it's so small, it will be all crooked once you turn your bag. So you want to make sure that you have it taped down really well, or however you secure it. And you're going to run step 15, which will tack both of them down. Again, this step is optional. If you don't want to have any straps, that's fine. If you just want to have 1 strap, you can just put it on one side, whichever side you choose. Or if you don't want any, you just want to use it for like a little zipper bag inside of a bigger bag, you can just skip this step. This is the 8x12, so it's going to have a full strap on it because it's big. That'd be kind of awkward to carry around with no straps. So I'm going to do this on both sides. Excuse my screaming children. They're supposed to be in bed. And I'm going to run step 15, and then I will come back and tell you what to do for the last step. All right, so I'm done with step 15. I secured those 2 strap holders. The stitches didn't cover them completely, but really it's kind of just like a temporary hold for them until you do the final outside stitch. So we're at the very last step where we're going to attach the back of the bag. And to prep for this, you're gonna want to, sorry, I had to take my tape off there. You're going to want to open your zipper up. Let's see if I can do this backwards here. So you're gonna open your zipper up like at least halfway, because pretty much you want it to, that is so cute. You want it to be open enough that when you take it out of the hoop, you can kind of rip out this center part and open it the rest of the way, because you'll have to turn the bag through that zipper opening. So you want to make sure that the zipper is partially open. I have sewn my zipper head out of the bag so many times I can't even count, but I didn't this time. So the back is just a plain sheet of whatever color backing you want. I know some people like to do like printed vinyl on the back, or You could even do fabric that's been stabilized or interfaced. I'm just going to do plain white to go with the theme here. So what you want to do is just make sure that you have the vinyl covering the top of the zipper, both sides, and the bottom placement or the bottom tack down stitch there. And you are going to put it face down. So I know it's really hard to tell because of the white vinyl here, but so this is the front, and then the back is kind of like a fabric-y looking thing. So face down, so the good sides are going to be together, and it can be, I cut mine crooked, but it's going to cover both sides. So as long as it is covering all of those stitches, you're good. I'm going to tape mine down probably on the top and the bottom, especially around that zipper, because once it gets close to the zipper, it's going to it's gonna want to bubble over the top a little bit, just because that there's a big bump there. So I'm going to tape this down, run the final outline stitch, and then I will come back and show you what to do next. So it doesn't look like much, but this is the back side of my white vinyl. It looks like my machine kind of had a rough time going over some of those thicker spots, but it is done. What I'm going to do is I'm going to trim up some of the loose strings back here. I'm going to cut all the way around. You want to leave maybe like an 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch seam on the outside, just to make sure that none of the seams tear. I've never had any issues with this vinyl tearing. I know some of the vinyls, like they're like puffy, those don't hold up quite as well. But yeah, so I'm gonna trim up some of these loose strings back here and cut around the edges, and then I'll come back and show you how to flip your bag. Okay, so I have now kind of trimmed up the front panel there. Most of my loose strings are trimmed. The back panel, you didn't really have to do much, and I did cut the extra zipper at the top here. I don't like having it hanging inside the bag when it's unlined like this, but if you want to leave it, that's fine. It was tacked down pretty well, so I think it'll be okay. So what you are going to want to do is this, where the zipper is up here, you can kind of see where it's bulging right there. I had to slide mine all the way over so it wouldn't get caught. I like to use my seam ripper. You're just kind of gonna go right along where that zipper is and just very carefully open up that tearaway stabilizer so that you can pull it away and expose the zipper. And once your zipper is exposed, that'll make it much easier to turn. I'm just kind of making a pile on my desk over here. Sorry about that. My office is quite messy right now because I've been really busy. Haven't had a time to clean it. Okay, and if you want to pull away the tearaway, that's up to you. I typically do on like the bigger chunks where it might get, if it gets caught while they're using it, or something like that, it'll just not look very awesome on the inside of the bag. Again, that is a preference thing, whatever you want to do. I'm just going to go ahead and kind of pull it up. I just, again, very gently use my seam ripper in here. And again, I do apologize for the lighting in here. My workspace is in the basement, and we live in northern Indiana. And I think we have like 3 windows in the whole basement, so not a whole lot of natural light down here. Plus right now it's like 9 o'clock at night, so it's dark out anyway. But I have a ton of little lamps and stuff on my desk so that I can actually see what I'm doing, because I'm also blind as a bat. So it doesn't really help much with my video because everything is kind of bleached out, white out, whatever you want to call it. So again, I'm just kind of pulling the stabilizer out of the bigger chunks, the bigger areas. That way, if it gets caught while they're using it, it's not gonna look nasty on the inside. Hopefully in the near future, since this is just my first zipper bag, I am hoping to create like lined versions or even partially lined. I know a couple designers have ways that you can just cover the front part, the back of the front, and then the back of the backing piece would still be exposed. Because I mean, that looks nice. There's nothing wrong with it. There's not like stitches or threads or whatever hanging out. So it would pretty much from the bottom of the zipper all the way down, it would cover that. I will be honest with you, and I did not even think I was going to be able to make this design work just in any way, and it did. So here we are with an unlined bag, but I think it turned out awesome, and I'm excited to show it to you guys, and I hope that you guys love it as much as my testers and I did. I think every single one of my testers ended up testing this for me because they were so excited about it, and that always makes me excited because that means I must have something that everyone likes. Okay, so here we go. I got the zipper open, and again, because I slid the zipper, it's looking like that. Now, this is the 8x12. I can't quite get my hand all the way in there, so what I'm gonna do is I'm kind of gonna just start pushing those bottom corners up. Sorry, I had to pause for a second. My kids came downstairs to tell me they couldn't sleep because they're up playing instead of going to bed. So pretty much you're just gonna push the bottom part in until you can grab it, and you're just going to very, very gently pull it through that zipper opening. You want to be super gentle here because if you rip something, that would really not be good. Also, just a little heads up, that clear vinyl tends to crease really bad, so I guess you want to try not to have it folded for too long, otherwise it might be not looking so pretty. Oh my. Okay. Almost got it. This is called birthing, in case any of you are not bag makers. I've recently gotten into making purses, and this is what they call birthing because you're shoving a whole bag through a little hole, and it's not exactly the most pleasant time. This is not nearly as bad as some of the bags I've had to do, though. Ooh, okay. So yeah, and you don't want to pull on the wings there because they'll rip off. So I'm just kind of holding on to the bottom part of the bag here, just gently kind of wiggling it through. Almost there. Some more of my stabilizer came off while I was turning it. There we go. I'm not super fond with the way that my glitter turned out in this, but I still think it looks cute. There we go. Okay, so I've got it turned right side out now. What I like to do to see how the bottom corner there is still kind of pushed in, I like to use, where's my little marker? I have a little marker I like to use. I'm not sure where it got to. It's just a long marker. Oh, here it is. Long marker with kind of a rounded tip, and I just stick it in there because, again, my hand, I don't want to shove my hand in there too far. I'm just gonna gently push those edges out a little bit. Sorry, I'm trying to get a good spot that's not all washed out. Just push, push, push until that corner's out, and then do the same thing with the other corner. You don't want to push too hard because then you'll extend the seams a little too far. All right, and my wings are out, my strap connectors are out, my zipper is looking pretty good. There we go. All right, here is the completed bag. It's got the awesome little wings there, my kind of cool glitter, and you can see the little silver in there. I think it turned out pretty good. And again, this is the 8x12, so this is pretty big. This is like, I don't think it quite filled the hoop all the way. Yeah, it's like 10 3/4 inches from the top of the zipper down. These cute little aliens are perfect. These are a custom from New Moon Stitches. And again, I got the zipper tape from her. I got the zipper pull from her. I got these little cute D-rings from her. She's got all sorts of hardware. Just anything you could want, really. And then this is the back. Just plain white. And then you can attach whatever strap you feel like. Or if you're not using a strap, you can attach like a little key fob or something. I got this from Jane also. It's already got the little swivel hooks on there. The hardware doesn't match the hardware I was using. It's got nickel hardware and these are rainbow, but you know, that's all I had to show you. So yeah, there is your completed bag, and this does come in 4 different sizes. So the 5x7 would be good for like sticking in your purse, and then this would be more like an actual purse. Very cute.